Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Timothy here. We're going to be jumping into another Modern Cube. I did one very recently where I played White Weenie, which is one of the well-known archetypes of the set, I guess. And a lot of people gave me flack because I didn't take Hero Blade Hold, but it's all about having fun with the cubes, right? Um, should be starting here in a second. Modern Cube's great. There aren't too many like completely broken things you can do. It's just a bunch of like basically constructed playable cards that are all really good and everything's just great. So there's all sorts of things you can do. So looking at our pack here, excuse me. All right, well, there are definitely some good ones. There are always some good ones. Wake Thresher seems like a not so good one. This is a combo piece if you have something that can tap and untap itself. Act a negation, free counter spell, but you lose on your next turn. Not exactly what it does. Okay, cards that stand out to me. There's Ugin the Spirit Dragon, which is just a fantastic card to ramp into. A good finisher. There's also Hornet Queen, which is a good card to ramp into, but if I'm playing the ramp game, I like playing or picking up Ugin, and Ugin's also colorless, so there's a little bit of flexibility as far as what I can do. Through the Breach is a card that I really like if you end up with some of the really broken stuff, but I prefer it if I already have the broken stuff to taking it and then trying to find the broken stuff. There's also Pestermite, which I assume if this is in here, there's some combination of Splinter Twin or Kiki Jiki. I'm definitely taking Ugin. I'm also pretty intrigued by the 3-mana Planeswalkers. Ashiok seems pretty sweet for limited, and Liliana also seems like a good card, even though this takes a more focused deck to be really good, and the +1 is probably bad against a lot of matchups. So following up Ugin, I really like Dragonlord Silumgar. Gonti's also a sweet card. We are looking for some ramp spells if we're going to be playing an 8-mana Planeswalker here. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing any ramp spells, but Dragonlord Silumgar is a sweet card. It is a 3/5 flying Death Touch for 6 mana, and when it enters battlefield, you take an opponent's creature or Planeswalker for as long as you control Silumgar. If I've probably said this in some other videos, there are very few feelings that are better than ultimating your opponent's Planeswalkers, and Silumgar is one such card. It's just a valuable card on its own, too. So I think I'm going to take that. I would not mind Gonti. Gonti is essentially a 2/3 Death Touch that lets you draw a card from your opponent's deck, but your opponent kind of has to play guess and check. And this is cube, so you're almost guaranteed to always hit a good card. Plus, you can spend any color of mana to cast that card, and even if Gonti leaves the battlefield, you still get to do that. Traverse the Ulvenwald could be good, although I don't want to put a lot of effort into making Delirium work, so we'll take the sweet Planeswalker Stealer. Hornet Nest, Reflecting Pool, Temple, Tidings. All right, nothing too crazy here. Johnny Vengeance pretty strong, but I think I want to stick towards the blue-black here. Mindbender also seems good, but not really what I want to be taking right away. Guess I could take a land here. Also Electrolyze, Murderous Cut, which are decent removal spells. Hiding seems fine, but a little bit weak. I think Harmonize is also in the set. Harmonize only draws 3, though. It could take Censor as well and just look to build a more controlling deck. This also cycles, so it's a pretty safe pick. It's pretty underpowered as far as this cube goes. My alternative would be something like Murderous Cut, which is a fine card. And there's also Electrolyze, which is pretty sweet. Look to play some sort of a Grixis shell or something like that. I think I'm just going to take Censor here. Not entirely sure that pick's correct. Johnny Vengeance is cool. Ooh, Garruk. Oh, this is not the Garruk I like. Geist of St. Traph's is a very powerful card. Ooh, Jiraga Tree Speaker is nice. Alright, so we got some options here. Entreat the Angels is a sweet little card, but not what I'm taking here. Could take Geist of St. Traft, which, Esper is also fairly playable. Reflector Mage to that same degree, but if I'm going to take one of these cards, it'll definitely be Geist over Reflector Mage. Just way more upside here. There's also Thragtusk and Jiraga's Tree Speaker if I want to end up Sultai. This is a very, very good ramper. You played on turn 1, you level it up on turn 2, and suddenly it starts tapping for 2 mana. So you untap on turn 3 with potentially 5 mana if everything went well. Very good ramp creature. Sultai seems pretty strong. What does this do? When it dies, deals 2 damage to target creature. It's a popper card. I'm going to take Tree Speaker here. Ooh, this is the... Nope, this is not the one I like. Sorry, I don't know Grizzlebrand, Garruk names. Noble Hierarch here. Why does this oust have such a weird border on it? Am I the only one seeing that? Abraid's nice too. Core Hookmaster is Tempo. Definitely better in the White Weenie deck. I guess Pilgrim's Eye is pretty sweet if you end up with like those Delirium cards like Traverse the Ulvenwald. And then there's Grizzlebrand here, but I don't know how many ways there are to cheat this into play. I guess we did see Through the Breach. I don't know if there's a lot of reanimation though. Also Cascade Bluffs, which is good mana fix in, but I kind of like Noble Hierarch. If I end up Sultai, it gives me green and blue mana, and it just ramps in general. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take that and just have another 1 mana fixer. Voices Zendikar sweet. Slaughter Pact is an okay card, but not something I prioritize very highly. Lots of red here, but I'm not very interested in drafting red. Grapple with the Past is mill 3 and then put a creature or land back into your hands. Honored the Peer. That was really good for us last time. Between this Nissa and Slaughter Pact, and I guess I'm going to take this Nissa here. I do really like Planeswalkers. It's possible like I just stay open and start drafting green for right now. Maybe edge into some sort of just general ramp deck or go wide creature deck. Get like Craterhoof Behemoth. Rampage and Baloth's is sweet. Shadow Mage Infiltrator and Kokosho are also nice. And this kills a non-black creature. You lose life equal to its toughness. So it's like a reverse Swords to Plowshares kind of. Tough pick here. We have Kokosho, which is a nice kind of beater for a control deck. Shadow Mage Infiltrator, which can get in there and draw you a bunch of extra cards. And then if we wanted to stay green, we could do Rampaging Baloths, which is a 6/6 for 6 that makes 4/4s whenever you play a land. Disfigure seems like a weaker card, although playable. I think I'm going to go with Shadow Mage Infiltrator here. Kind of like it more than just the big beefy Rampage and Baloths, even though Baloths, ooh, Ulamog is exactly what we want to be ramping into, right? Alright, so now we're a little conflicted as far as what we want to be doing. Vengevine seems okay. Feels like the type of card you have to draft with it in mind and make some picks to make sure your Vengevine comes off. I think I'm just going to take Ulamog. That's the sweetest card, right? It may not be the correct pick. Like Beast Within might be good. I wish Nest Invader would come back if I'm ending up with an 8 and a 10 drop, but let's see if we can ramp into some big things. So we are going to prioritize ramp moving forward. Through the Breach came back. Through the Breach into Ulamog is not really a combo. If it was one of the other Eldrazi, that'd be different. So this is what we're looking at so far. Mostly green with some high-end stuff. Could just take the Cyclone Land. Could take Through the Breach in case Grizzlebrand comes back. And Wake Thresher's just kind of weak, and I don't want Westvale Abbey. So yeah, I think I'm going to play Siege Rhino here. Traverse can fix our mana. We don't really have a lot as far as Delirium goes, even though Delirium shouldn't be too hard to turn on. Could also take Rage and Ravine in case I feel like I'm going to end up splashing Through the Breach. Sidisi's not bad, but double block has me a little worried. I think I'll just take Traverse here. Temple of Malady seems pretty good. Electrolyze is fine, but I do like a little bit of mana fixin', especially if I end up playing these. I don't know whether I'm going to be blue or black yet, so taking a mana fixer here, even a slow one, seems fine. I will play Swag Tusk over the green-white lands. Angel of Jubilation gives non-black creatures +1/+1. Your other non-black creatures. And it also stops your opponent from paying life or sacrificing creatures in order to use abilities, which is sweet. I don't see myself playing either of the creatures, so I will play the potential red mana fixer. And note that somebody did snap up that Grizzlebrand. Brawler, I don't know. There's a very slim chance that I transition into some sort of like green-red beatdown deck and Dictate a Heliod. Okay, sweet first pack. We're a little conflicted as far as what we want to do, but I think with these two cards in our deck, we want to be a ramp deck if that's possible. Architect of Thought, Never to Return, Obstructionist. Viridian Emissary is fine. I do like Phyrexian Metamorph. There's also Underground River, which is a blue-black pain land. Duress is not bad. Phyrexian Metamorph is secretly a colorless card, even though it is a little bit better if you're blue. It's basically just a clone, but the clone is an artifact in addition to its other types. And you can actually play this for 3 mana plus some life instead of paying 4 mana for it. So I'm definitely taking Phyrexian Metamorph. Architect of Thought is pretty decent as well. There aren't really any ramp cards to complement these creatures here. Viridian Emissary does ramp you, but only when it dies. So it's good alongside Sacrifice Fodder or something like that, or some sort of sack engine. Definitely going to just take Metamorph here. Pretty happy with that. Hey, look, Hero of Bladehold. Haha. Psych Rift. This is not Commander. Tooth and Nail. Hello. Hello. Oh man, we really need some ramp though, don't we? Pick up like every single elf we see. Tooth and Nail is busted. It's 7 mana to go search your deck for 2 creatures or just put 2 creatures from your hand on the battlefield. But if you pay 2 extra mana and you cast it for 9 mana, you get to do both of those things. So it's basically fetch 2 creatures and put them on the battlefield. You end up with anything like Ulamog plus 1 other creature is just absurd. Ulamog plus Metamorph. I guess you don't really want to Metamorph an Ulamog, but I'm definitely going to take Tooth and Nail, and I'm just going to prioritize any sort of ramp I can find here. Rashmi's sweet. This card really destroyed us last time if you watched my mono white video. Body double is like a bad Phyrexian Metamorph. I do like this guy. I think I'm just going to take Devoted Druid though. There's also a nice little finisher here, which is not a bad card to get with Tooth and Nail. But even if Tooth and Nail has to go grab like Ulamog, Dragonlord, Silumgar, that's usually going to be enough to finish the game. What is Star Compass? Enters the battlefield tapped. Add any mana that'll land you. This is being reprinted on Iconic Masters. I had never actually seen this beforehand. So it's a slow mana rock that taps for anything your mana could already tap for. One cool thing about taking Devoted Druid here is that it does work with my Draga Tree Speaker if I get it to level 5, as does Rashmi, since Rashmi is an elf. And Rashmi is also just really sweet. It's possible I could get Rashmi back here, though. There's some good mono red cards. I guess I'll take Devoted Druid over Star Compass, since Druid can actually ramp us ahead twice. Ooh, Nicol Bolas. How many sweet things do we want to do, guys? Rex Sage is good. Here's Zealous Conscripts, which is another combo with... Oh, and Restoration Angel in the same pack? Well, there you go. There's a combo for you. Trophy Mage would be better if I actually had anything at all that it gets. Nicol Bolas. Well, I already have access to blue, possibly black. That seems a little far-reaching. Twilight Mire is probably the safe pick, or Rex Sage, which, again, is an elf. Just destroys artifacts or enchantments. Bolas is the sweet pick. Reclamation Sage is probably the correct pick. Even Twilight Mire seems like it's a better pick as far as like what we're doing. This is colorless, so we don't have to count it as blue, and I might not even play Censor. Really want to take Bolas here. It doesn't really fit our Tooth and Nail thing. Plus, we don't have anything like Bird's Paradise. I'm doing it. If I don't play it, it's fine. Anguished Unmaken, Curator of Mysteries. Ooh, Duplicate's nice. Wickerbow, Rishkar's Expertise would be a little bit better if I had just a mid-rangey deck. This guy's fine. Frostwalker's very bad in my opinion. Just a card you should do your best to never play. And Managorger Hydra can get really out of hand here. I don't value this card too highly, but against an opponent who's struggling against you a little bit, it gets out of hand very quickly. I think I'll take Duplicant. It's just another big colorless thing. It comes down and exiles a creature, which on its own is nice, but then it copies all of that creature's stats. It doesn't get the creature's abilities, which I think a lot of people forget, but it's a nice little curve topper. I say that like we don't have a 10 and an 8 drop in our deck. Harmonize is sweet. Nasty Terasti. How many big things can we put in our deck without the mana fixin'? Like, right now, as far as ramp, we have Tree Speaker, we have Noble Hierarch, we have potentially Metamorph as some way to do it, and we have Devoted Druid, which is not a lot. It's not, but Thragtusk it is. Alright, Courser Crufix seems like it fits this deck perfectly. Evolving Wilds would also be fine. Masked Admirers is a very slow, grindy card. Huntmaster of the Fells is good, too. There's also Stomping Grounds. This is the type of pack that if there was a mana fixer in our colors, I would probably take it. Also, no, we don't really have removal. Duplicant is removal. 6 mana removal, but Courser Crufix also not ramp. It's just decent, so sort by mana cost. Threads of Disloyalty. Soul Reap. I think we read this last time. Yeah, it kills non-green creatures. And then domes them for a little bit if you've cast other black spells. Not really anything I want to play here. I mean, I guess I need a little bit of removal, right? So this could be fine. Just very bad against mono red decks. And I'm not playing anything else here, so... sure. I guess 2 mana removal spell. Underground River seems good here. Drowned Catacombs better. Yeah, I think I like Drowned Catacombs a little bit better. Wish this was a green fixing. It's also never to return, but double black has me a little worried, so I think I'll take Drowned Catacombs over Underground River. It's a little bit slower some amount of the time, but Underground River is also a pain land. Lodestone Golem, not quite what I'm looking for. Baral makes my instants and sorceries cheaper. I guess that does work with Tooth and Nail, but that doesn't seem too great. I kind of like Commit to Memories. Silent Departure's a tempo card. We're not really looking to play a tempo game. Not too excited about any of these. I think I'll take Commit here. Rashmi did come back. There's also Enclave Cryptologist. I like Rashmi, though. Rashmi's sweet. Ooh, Rexage came back anyway. Don't really know how our deck's going to pan out. Well, Frostwalker is awful, so I guess I'll take Expertise. Probably more likely I pay red. In fact, very likely I play red, so Dragon Skull Summits. Cascade and Bluffs could make the cut if Nicol Bolas makes the cut, as could Stomping Grounds. So here's a nice little Nicol Bolas package. We just need to prioritize all the mana fixing possible. Birds of Paradise, something like that would just be the best thing we can possibly get. 2 to 3 more just good ramp cards, even colorless ramp. Warren Power Stone, Thran Dynamo, any sort of effect like that that's in this cube. Ronus Hangerback is okay as a default. Wolfear Silverheart. Alright, so unfortunately we did not open really anything we're super excited about. Marsh Flats can fetch black, and then the one color we're not looking to play really. Temple Garden, again, not a color we're looking to play. Lay Claim seems fine. Supreme Will seems like kind of a weaker pick for a cube here. I do like Night Veil Spectre, but this is not the deck for it. There's also Wolfear Silverheart, which is better in a beatdown deck that's not trying to play like a 10-drop or something like that. It's possible we don't end up playing all these big things. Supreme Will, Lay Claim. Probably going to end up being like an 18 land deck. Could also just play Hangerback Walker, which is fine. I think I'm going to go with that. Not really too excited about pretty much anything in here. Ronus is not really what we want to be doing. These two cards fit in the same kinds of decks. Yeah, I guess I'll take Hangerback Walker. It's the type of card that no matter what my bill ends up looking like, it's the type of card I can play. So Woodland Cemetery would be fine. I've obviously reserved Wall of Roots. This is a very good mana fixer. Or not mana fixer, but mana ramper. Just gives you access to an additional green mana and blocks very, very well for the aggressive matchups. Nykthos is not what we want for this sort of deck. We're not very focused. There's also Steam Vents, which I would be happy to wheel. And Woodland Cemetery. So I guess maybe Elder Deep Fiend would also be decent. Seems sweet with Thragtusk, but double blue again for the emerge cost. We're definitely taking Wall Roots, and if I get back Steam Vents, Woodland Cemetery, or Elder Deep Fiend, I'll be pretty happy. The rest of the pack I don't care too much about. Moloku, again, not what we really want for this deck. Wall Roots is exactly what we want, though. Progenitor Mimic, that's kind of sweet. Cultivate, hello. Take a turn off, but you untap and play a land, and suddenly 5. There's also Sheoldred here, which is awesome. Cultivate fixes all of our mana problems. It ramps us ahead. It guarantees we're hitting land drops. I think it's definitely the pick here, as opposed to just some other mana fixing. Like, I would play Fetid Pools, certainly. And then the rest of the pack, I don't know, Progenitor Mimic is kind of a wonky card. It's a clone that makes a copy of itself every upkeep. Spell Queller, Yavimaya Coast, Elves of Deep Shadow, Shriek Maul. This pack's pretty good. Spiketail Drakeling is like, it's okay. Is it non-creature spell? Target spell. I guess it's a fine card. Makes your opponent play off curve. Aether Sphere Harvester, not quite what we want to be doing. Wish we had a little bit more removal, but I think I'm going to take Elves of Deep Shadow here. Again, ramp. The alternative would be Yavimaya Coast. Maybe Shriek Maul. Pool Okernos, not really what we want. Spellskite. Big Nissa. Farseek, Sakura Tribe Elder. Alright, well here's the pack we really want. The question is, which of these two is better for us? Farseek can fetch Stomping Grounds, I guess. Other than that, it just gets a basic, and Sakura Tribe Elder basically does the same exact thing. I wouldn't mind this Nissa. I think it'd be pretty cool to try it out here, especially if we end up with a lot of ramp, but Elder's kind of what we're looking for. It blocks a creature and also ramps us ahead. Seems pretty sweet. Whip Flare, Goblin Guide. Somebody's going to get hooked up with the really late Goblin Guide. Possibly even play Thrawn. I think this card's very good. Nissa and Spellskite seem alright. Soccer Tribe Elder is kind of what I want to be doing, though. Sylvan Caryatid also fits here very nicely. There's Vivid Grove. There's also Crystal Shard, which is a very annoying card to play against and does some pretty sweet combos with ETB effects. Like Crystal Shard on Thragtusk is just insane because you can use it on your own creatures and just refuse to pay the cost, and then you bounce your own creatures back and replay them for a lot of value. Not quite what we want to be doing. It's possible we cut a lot of the black cards here, like Shadow Mage Infiltrator, but we'll get to that in a second. I think I'm definitely taking Sylvan Caryatid, and that kind of makes me pretty comfortable with the mana base that we've set up so far, or at least the number of ramp creatures. We have high end, we have low end, we've got what we want. Now we're just filling out a couple more picks. Mole Drifter, Negate, Chasm Skulker, and Drake Haven. I don't know how often you're going to get a Drake Haven deck. I don't really know. Primal Command is fine as well. This lets you fetch up a creature and do some sort of other effect. It might actually be the pick here. Mole Drifter's sweet, though. Kind of like Primal Command. Negate, I would probably just keep in the sideboard. Although Negate seems like it's very main deckable in a cube. I think I'll take Primal Command. Might not main deck it. Hinterland Harbor. Imprisoned in the Moon is removal. There's also Rootbound Crag, but the only red card I already have enough mana fix in for. Burst Lightning, Sword of Light and Shadow. This is not a sword deck. So do we want Imprisoned in the Moon or Hinterland Harbor? I just really value having good mana, so I'll take Hinterland Harbor, I think. Imprisoned in the Moon is fine. It's a very good way of dealing with some problematic cards. Yeah, Harbor. Here's that pack we opened. I guess I'll take Lay Claim now. Might even play it. Elder Deep Fiend did come back. Might play that. Too much high end, obviously. Progenitor Mimic is probably not going to make the cut. Yavimaya Coast. Ooh. Thrun and Nissa. This seems like a Nissa deck. Let's do some sweet stuff, guys. Let's do some sweet stuff. Commit to Memory. Seeming a little weak. Well, okay, we have a lot of top-end stuff, though. This might not be an Ulamog deck, given that we don't have, like... We have single mana fix, or single mana ramp, right? We don't have a lot of things that ramp us ahead by, like, 2 or 3. Obviously, Ulamog is very good with Tooth and Nail. I'm not really sniping anything there, since I'm not playing against anybody. But if I were in, like, a competitive setting, there's no way I'm passing Lavamancer over Thriving Grubs, right? I just can't justify giving that to him. Oh, yep, last pick, Drake Haven. Where it belongs. Alright, we definitely have the tools to make a sweet deck here. We just need to make it work out. We are certainly a ramp deck. Shadow Mage Infiltrator not going to make the cut. I think I'll keep Soul Reap out as well. And we're going to be very, very light on removal. But we want to ramp into some big stuff. Do we want to play Bolus and a bunch of red lands? Kind of, but that might be a little too ambitious. Nissa can come down to the 3-drop slot. It is a little awkward. We have 2 Nissas in our deck, and they have not quite changed the rule on the Nissas yet. Actually don't think Voice of Zendikar is very good in our deck. It's more of like a stall card. I kind of like keeping Dragonlord Silumgar in. Primal Command can come out for now. Let's go and move these lands to the side for a second. Note that if Dragonlord Silumgar is the only black card we're playing, we do not have to play too many black lands to make that work. Alright, let's look through real quick. Elves. I do not know how I feel about Traverse. It doesn't ramp you, but it can fetch creatures late in the game. I mean, I have a couple instants and sorceries and stuff like that, but I don't think we're going to get Delirium very often, and I would rather just play any of these other 3 cards on turn 1 than Traverse. It's a very good late game card. Rishkar's Expertise seems okay, but if we've already got a big thing on board, they're going to do quite a bit of work. Hangerback Walker can come down here. Commit is a 4-drop. So I think I'm going to cut Traverse. Not really into that. Not in love with this Nissa either. If we ended up with Craterhoof Behemoth or some sort of overrun type effect, then Nissa would be a little bit better. My My mana dorks are all three of these guys, plus I have Devoted Druid, Tribe Elders, Caryatid, and Wallroot. So I really like that on the low end. It makes my X spells a little bit better if I have a surplus of those sorts of effects. Tooth and Nail is basically a 9-drop if you wanted to be very good. I kind of like this Elder Deep Fiend. Note that if we have double blue, Elder Deep Fiend is actually going to be like a 4 or 5-drop or something like that. Lay Claim can be a 2-drop. I think we do want to... I'm going to play at least 17 lands. I feel like I should cut one of these high-end things here. I'm not in love with Commit to Memory. I'm going to be tapping out a lot, I think. So I don't think I'm going to be able to hold this up too often, even though it does deal with a lot of very problematic things. And I think Memory is like the worst thing you can cast in a cube unless you're trying to win immediately. Lay Claim does seem sweet. Censor just seems like okay at best. Not great. Not amazing by any means. I mean, if I were to cut like Censor, like here are my blue cards. Dragonlord Silgar is kind of on that double splash, right? But I think it's worth it. These are my blue cards, and Lay Claim doesn't even really need blue, and Elder Deep Fiend will be castable off of blue some amount of the time, so we do not need to be heavy blue. So I'm kind of thinking take Censor out. Again, I'll be tapping out a lot, and the rest of these just seem like sweet cards, even if they're not amazing cards. So Nissa, Rashmay, Dragonlord. Thragtusk is going to stay in. Elder Deep Fiend, I'll go ahead and keep in the 8-drop slot, even though it's not going to be an 8-drop most of the time, assuming I can find blue mana, which I should be okay. There are times I'm going to get stuck on mana, but I have a lot of mana fixing too between Cultivate, Caryatid, Tribe Elder, Noble Hierarch. Those can all go find blue mana. Then the last card I'm really looking at here is this Nissa. It's probably better than this Nissa, but this Nissa is certainly sweeter, right? This Nissa is a lot better when you can wall up or you play a lot of removal and you play the control game, which we're not really doing too well, unfortunately. Could also keep Rex Sage in the sideboard until we see some really problematic artifacts or enchantments. Maybe we should try that out. Then we'll play 17 lands. 17 might be too low. I do have to pay 8 mana to cast Ugin, but with all these mana dorks and stuff, I think 17 is probably about right. And again, this might not be an Ulamog deck. You guys let me know what you would have picked or what sort of things you would have done to make this draft a little bit smoother. I get caught up by sweet cards, so I hope we can go ahead and make something work here. Now my favorite part, figuring out what the heck to do with the mana. I will not be playing any white or red. One swamp. One swamp seems absolutely correct for Dragonlord. 4 islands. Is that right? The only blue cards I'll have here are Rashmi and Nissa. All the other blue cards, I guess Dragonlord 2 and pretty much most of the time Elder Deep Fiend. These other 2 blue cards, we don't need blue for them. So I really like this actually. 12, 1, 4, that's 17. And then we can make our mana just a little bit better with some of our other lands here. So we have Bolus. I know I want to play you, but stay out of the deck, please. Hinterland Harbor, Drowned Catacombs, and no reason to... Cascade Bluffs can make double blue for Lay Claim or... what's it called? But it only makes blue. Might be worth considering this for the 2 double blue cards that I have in my deck. If I bring Bolus in, I'll certainly bring in Cascade Bluffs, but I think I'm going to leave it out for right now. Is it better than just an island? I don't have any blue cards I want to play on turn 1. I also can't make blue-green for these things, but that should be fine if we're at the point. Yeah, maybe I play Cascade Bluffs. Its ability to let us cast Lay Claim or use Elder Deep Fiend seems like it could come in handy. And then anything else we want to consider in the sideboard here? Traverse again, not great. Shadow Mage Infiltrator's fine if we weren't just like majority green. Then Traverse can be part of this little package. Progenitor Mimic is sweet. It is sweet. I don't know about it though. Alright, so cut an island for that. And 1, 2, 3. We can cut 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. 1, 2. There we go. So let me do one more count, and then we'll get to the games. That drowned catacomb's already in there. So green sources. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 in the main board. Black sources. I see 1, 2, 3, and keep in mind I only have one black card. Blue sources, where's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That seems doable. And then, yeah, that's going to be the deck. So I hope this is enjoyable. I hope we don't get stuck on a bunch of 8-mana dudes. And I hope we can have a little bit of fun. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see y'all in the rounds. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are playing a Modern Cube draft where we drafted blue-green stuff. Pretty good opening hand here. Tree Speaker into Noble Hierarch, or Tree Speaker into just Level Up. And then tap this to play Noble Hierarch. Seems pretty sweet. We are on the draw. Hopefully we're not against a super aggro deck. And playing the Forest on turn 1. Well, yeah, playing the Forest on turn 1 lets us play Hinterland Harbor on turn 2 untapped. Unfortunately, these other lands are probably going to come in tapped for now. But let's go and play Tree Speaker, see if it survives, considering my opponent played red mana and passed. It did survive. Let's see if it continues to survive. Would be pretty annoying if I tried to level it up and my opponent killed it in response. That's a good draw, because that means that both Drowned Catacomb and Hinterland Harbor will come in untapped. So I think I play that this turn and attempt to level up. And if my opponent wants to kill it in response, I would get sad. And it looks like they just F6. So let's make a bunch of green mana, play Noble Hierarch, and pass. Wasting a green mana. And, you know, we could get blown out by a sweeper. There are a lot of little red cards that deal with things. 3/3 with Haste and Wither. Gonna take some beats here. Probably gonna spend my next turn cultivating, so that thing's gonna get in a little bit of damage. Looks like I skipped to my combat phase. I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana this turn. I could actually just cast Duplicant. That seems pretty insane. Or I could play Hangerback Walker on 3. Maybe that's what I want to do, because if my opponent tries to kill it, that works. So this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Comes in tapped unless you control an island or swamp. Yeah. All right. Hinterland Harbor. We will go ahead and generate a billion mana and play Hangerback Walker for 3. 6 mana on turn 3 is pretty sweet. That's why Jiraga Tree Speaker is pretty absurd. I will definitely trade Hangerback for pretty much anything that wants to slam into it. If he attacks, we are blocking, and then if he wants to wipe the board afterwards, that's fine. I assume that's what's happening here. So I'll get a bunch of 1/1s, and then I'm assuming we're seeing a sweeper, and that's why he made that attack. I guess he also doesn't want Hangerback to get bigger than his 3/3. That might be another reason to just snap that attack off. I will save Duplicant for something a little spicier. My opponent just plays like Inferno Titan or something like that. That shouldn't work, right? Oh, he's talking about Wither. Deals damage to creatures in the form of -1/-1 counters. I don't actually know. So he's asking, when you have a creature with Wither, they don't deal normal combat damage. They deal combat damage in the form of -1 counters. And Hangerback Walker had 3+1 counters on it. So, actually, that's kind of curious. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure that should have worked that way. So I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, I'll probably play Temple here. duplicate this thing because it's super scary and can attack past all my creatures. Go ahead and attack with all the Thopters first. Note that duplicate is not like your Banisher Priest type cards where they get their creature back if you kill it. If they kill duplicate, then, you know, their creature's just gone. So this is essentially removal attached to a body. It's only going to be a 4/2. It doesn't get any of Hero Oxid Ridge's abilities, but coming down as a 4/2 is nice, and then I also get some scry action on my temple. Opponent still has 4 in hand. Let's scry first. That can go to the bottom. Alright, duplicate coming down. And now we just want to draw like Terastodon or something. Get rid of this guy. Yes. It's imprinted. So my guy is a 4/2 human knight shapeshifter. Alright, big 5-drop. Sarkin the Dragon Speaker. Is it going to become a 4/4 or is it going to pop one of my creatures? Alright, so opponent not messing around. They might have just a bunch of hasty threats. Becomes a 4/4 red dragon creature with flying, indestructible, and haste. Alright. That happens. Do get to hit my opponent for a bunch here. Get to cultivate as well. I do want to kill this. So I think I send duplicate plus a Thopter here. Send the rest at my opponent. We'll go ahead and cultivate and then play Devoted Druid. Possible I don't even want to play this. Actually, no. Exalted doesn't matter too much. I will send Tree Speaker in as well and just leave Noble Hierarch back. So let's go ahead and do that. This will go at Dragon Speaker. This will go at Dragon Speaker. And then this at you, this at you, this at you. So 5 at the Dragon Speaker. Take that out. Hit my opponent for 3. They are ahead of me. Cultivate right now. We will put, guess we'll go ahead and just put a bunch of forests out since we have all the other stuff we really need. And then play a land for turn. Play Devoted Druid. And I can cast anything in my deck at this point. Start leveling this up. Is this? No, you're not an elf, you're a human. Okay, opponent just says, sure. Yeah, I'm not sure why the Wither thing didn't work. Normally, if you put -1 counters on something that has +1 counters, it removes it. It must have something to do with Hangerback Walker dying from damage. I'm not entirely sure. Rexage, didn't see any targets for that. Censor, probably fine against my opponent, even though Censor is the type of card that if I board it in at all, I'm way more likely to board it in when I'm on the play than on the draw. Because your opponent already has stuff, you can't afford to just like sit there behind your Censor instead of playing out your cards. That went well. Our opponent did not have a 1 or 2 drop though, and I think that helped us. They're like a go big red deck. We'll just run it back. Corsair could be good here. Ugin is also a great stabilizer. We could just be super dead if we don't draw something. My best draw here would be any of my 1-mana Rampers to play Corsair on turn 2. This can give us a little bit of extra life buffer too, which is nice. Even though the downside to Corsair is that it gives your opponent basically perfect information on your draws. I mean, that's a real price, right? Ah, that dude, I hate him. So that guy is going to get way out of hand. We might just die this game to a very early Stromkirk Noble. Fortunately, we drew a Cascade Bluffs. Because we're just going to go land, take 1, land, take 2. I guess this can technically block that thing when I play it, but it'll be a 3/3 by then. No 2-drop is nice. Upkeep? My opponent has a stop on my upkeep. Oh, what if they just blow up my forest? I don't know what... it does not seem like there's a lot of land destruction. Rashmi is a good follow-up to Corsair, I guess, but not when I'm under as much pressure as I'm already under. Every time this hits, it gets a +1/+1 counter. So it'll be a 3/3. Play Courser, can block. Huh. This card had a lot of hype when it came out, and it just never saw play. It's definitely a sweet design. It's a double striker and a trampler, and every time it deals damage, you exile the top card of your library. And then you have until the end of the turn to cast those cards. Well, Soccer Tribe Elder's a little late. That would have been great last turn. I think we're just going to play Courser here. And probably block. Probably. If we block, I guess I block Prophetic Flame Speaker. Well, I'm assuming they just kill this now. Okay. Okay. So this can definitely attack through Courser. Actually, everything can just attack here. This can attack too. I don't think my opponent's going to have a 1-mana spell here. I could be wrong. Or at least a 1-mana spell that kills Courser. So I'm going to make this block. This has to deal damage to me. So assuming, yeah, they didn't have anything. They could have gotten a free attack in with that Flame Speaker, because Courser doesn't actually profitably block any of their creatures. Alright, let's hit a land on the top, and then a spell after that. 3 in hand from the opponent. If we get to Ugin, we're going to be in pretty good shape. Ooh, this will come in tapped if I play it, but I think it's worth getting it off the top of my library. What am I trying to play this turn? Could play Cultivate. Could play Soccer Tribe Elder. Could play Rashmi. None of these things are amazing against my opponent. I think I just need to ramp and attempt to get myself out of here. So I think what I'm going to do is play Drowned Catacombs, play Soccer Tribe Elder, and just attempt to block Soccer Tribe Elder on something and sack it. So let's go and play this off the top and gain a life. The life gain here is very relevant. Ooh, Silumgar coming up too. Can I actually play that next turn? Yeah, because I have Cascade Bluffs. Let's play Soccer Tribe Elder, and let's pass the turn. Alright, we are on Plan Ugin. If my opponent just plays like Sarkin and blasts Courser of Krufix, I'm in very bad shape, but they're going straight to combat. So I'll make a very similar block. Courser will go here. Soccer Tribe Elder will go on this thing. Block this. Block this. 4 damage. Sack. Oh, I guess that does shuffle away Dragonlord Silumgar. We have blue-black. Let's go ahead and get another blue since we already have black. And I gain a life and take no damage this turn. Ugh, Scryland on top? That's kind of not what we want, right? 2, 3, 4, 5. War and Peace. +2/+2. Red and white. 1 damage equal to the number of cards in his or her hand, and gain 1 life for each card in your hand. Putting that on a double striker is pretty insane. Oh, we're going to draw Temple of Melody. Okay. Phyrexian Metamorph. Does not seem great here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I play a land that's at 6, and Cultivate puts me at 7. So I think what I have to do is play Cultivate this turn, attempt to survive the next turn by whatever means, and then play Ugin and wipe the board. Even if that means Courser has to just, like, chump something. If that's the case, I probably play Temple after I Cultivate to set up my Scry. Also, Cultivate could reveal a land off the top. Ugh. Alright, we're in pretty bad shape, I think. I mean, we're fine. So I think we're going to Cultivate first. Again, this puts me at 6 mana this turn, and a land drop puts me at 7, so I can Ugin next turn. Also, I will gain 2 life this turn, so I'll be at a pretty healthy 18. Let's go and get the Swamp. Island. Basic onto the battlefield tapped. Forest to my hand. Hangerback Walker. I wish I had that in hand. Play it for 1. That'd be great. Play a Scryland. Go ahead and let that happen. And then Scry. Do I want Hangerback Walker next turn? I think that's fine to keep on top. Then we're just going to pass and then Ugin next turn if we're still alive. Going to take a lot off this. You equip it to this thing, I imagine. Yep. Alright. So let's see. I might actually be dead this turn. If I block here, if I block here, I take 9, and then this hits me for 1 for each card in my hand. To that player equal to the number of cards in his or her hand. And then I take another 6 plus another 6, so that's 12. Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. So if I put Courser on this thing, I'll soak up the first hit. The second hit will hit me for, it's essentially 6 power. I'll take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Ouch. Well, that's what I gotta do, right? If I don't block Flame Speaker at all, I just die. But this having double strike with a sword on it's pretty gross. My opponent's also gonna gain 1,000,000 life here. This thing gets bigger. I mean, I do get to wipe the board, but if my opponent has like a hasty creature, I'm in pretty bad shape. Oh, yeah, I'm at 4. They also get to exile some stuff here with Flame Speaker. Pia Noir. They just had nothing. I'm drawing Hanger back. Let's go and wipe the board. This card is permanently exiled. They still have Sword of War and Peace after this. They're going to need a hasty creature that deals 4 damage before Ugin starts really taking over this game, though. So, Forest, let's go and cast Eugene. Let's minus. I don't even have to minus a lot. We're going to minus 3. Yeah, that hits all of his things, except for the sword, because it's colorless. And then next turn we can go like Rashmi plus Hangerback Walker for 2 or something like that. Assuming there's not some dumb creature that comes down and just wrecks us. Like Sarkin here just wins the game. That does it too, because he can take Ugin and kill me. Let's make him do it. Yep. So he attacks with this and then just shoot me with Ugin. Alright. Game 3. Opponent with some hasty creatures. I do like Censor a little bit more on the play. I also think this Nissa's probably very slow against my opponent. I might actually want the other Nissa, plus Primal Command seems pretty sweet. Gain 7 life against my opponent, and then destroy them. Thragtusk is nice. What's bad against my opponent? I guess I didn't really think about that. Lay Claim seems not great against an opponent who will have me dead by the time I get to 7 mana. Also, I don't really want to take too many of my opponent's things. Soccer, Tribuilder, Arc, blah blah blah. Elder Deep Fiend might get the axe here. Ulamog could definitely get the axe here. I mean, I could cast an Ulamog. My opponent doesn't have a lot of 1 or 2 drops that we saw. I mean, they did play that Stromkirk guy, the Noble. I think I'm going to cut either Lay Claim or Elder Deep Fiend. I think it's going to be Lay Claim. I don't really want to Lay Claim any of my opponent's things. Censor seems like it could get my opponent too. I would like to play first. My opponent does have 4 and 5 drops in their deck. Okay, well, put it to the test, right? We have an 0-3, 5 lands, and an Ulamog. It's about as bad as it gets for the most part. We're going to play Drowned Catacombs first. This is not an amazing hand by any means. Draga Tree Speaker would be fantastic. It's probably even a mulligan, honestly. This is essentially already a mulligan. I mean, if I get to cast it, great, but my opponent puts a lot of pressure on me. This doesn't block too many of their creatures very well. We're going to need to draw well. Something like Thragtusk off the top would make me feel a lot better about this hand. Or Nissa, the double green Nissa, Voice of Zendikar, whatever it's called. Is it Voice of Zendikar? I think that's what it's called. We're just waiting on our opponent to make a mulligan decision here. Did I really use that much time? I used 5 more minutes than my opponent? Ugh. Yeah, we're really putting Ulamog to the test on this one. Yeah, my opponent has that upkeep stop. Alright, no 1-drop. Although Hexproof is nice against removal heavy red decks. Not what we wanted to see. We could also just get flooded, another reason this hand's pretty poor. I mean, we do have 17 lands in the deck plus a ton of mana dorks. Ire Shaman, this has Menace. Doesn't really do anything else. There's Thragtusk. We can actually play that next turn. So pretty happy with that. I am going to take a hit off of Ire Shaman. I think when this morphs, yeah, it gives you that little impulse draw. No Boggart Gang, no 3-drop hasty creature. Pretty nice. So I'll be at 23. Pianoir is good. Definitely good. Ooh, Cultivate next turn seems sweet. We might get to Ulamog yet. We're already at 5 mana this turn. I guess I just keep playing out basics for now. And play all swaggy. Swaggerino. Let's make a red mana, as we can. 5 life is nice. This will just block Pia if it attacks. Block basically anything if it can. And then it replaces itself with a 3/3. We'll Cultivate next turn. Put us up to 7 mana. Ooh, my opponent tapping out for Outpost Siege is good this turn. I get hit for 3. Oh, they can... Why not attack with the Thopter? Maybe they want to double block Thragtusk? Ugh. Let's go and Cultivate. Yeah, let's get 2 other basics. Put a Swamp down. Play the island. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're still 3 turns off from a Ulamog. If I attack with Thragtusk, they get to attack back pretty freely, so I think I'll just pass. And Outpost Siege going to be pretty good for my opponent. Just good card advantage for red. Alright, they hit a mountain. Yeah, just a free land. Essentially just draw a card. Outpost Siege is strong when you're not under a lot of pressure. Four-drop, Hero of Oxid Ridge, maybe. That would stop Caryatid from blocking for a turn. Oh, Collective Defiance. 4 to that, 3 to me. Thragtusk does make a 3/3. Alright, any spell that's not a land. Ooh, plus Bolt. Youch. Alright, I am taking 3 more this turn. Don't think I'm gonna... Ooh, Tooth and Nail. I can just put Ulamog on the battlefield. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can also wait till next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And entwine this. I could go get like Duplicant plus Terastodon or something like that, or just put Ulamog into play. I don't think I'm gonna die this next turn. It's possible, like the sword again, if he goes like sword, equip this, it doesn't have double strike, so I'll just take a lot of damage. Tooth and Nail for 9 mana seems like it'd be very good against my opponent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Next turn 9. So yeah, I think the plan here is to just see what happens this turn. I'm going to take a lot of damage, certainly. I also should be a little skeptical about blocking with Sylvan Caryatid. My opponent has essentially a free Thriving Grubs. It might also be worth... Do I want to block this? Is my opponent going to pump? I think I block it. Problem is, if I block and they have some sort of trick to pump it, my Caryatid dies and then I can't play Tooth and Nail. I'm taking 2, 4, 5. Can I afford to take that damage? I don't think I'm going to get like Trumpet Blasted here. I think it's a little too... I don't think my opponent has any way to pump this. Sure. Reserve life total a little bit. And my opponent's probably just going to play Thriving Grubs plus something else. No way they just play Thriving Grubs, though. 3 cards in hand. Alright, so more aggressive things. Probably get Terastodon and blow up some of my own lands, even though I have Ulamog next turn, too. So... Let's go ahead and entwine. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Go get 2 creatures from my library and then put any 2 creatures on the battlefield. Dragonlord Silumgar seems fine. Duplicant, I think definitely. Tree Speaker, Phyrexian Metamorph can only come in as a copy. It can't come in as a copy of the same thing I'm getting. A Terrastodon, possibly. I think I want Duplicant, Dragonlord Silumgar. And then what I do is Duplicant one of his creatures, steal another with Silumgar. And then if he kills Silumgar, that creature doesn't have haste. And I have 2 blockers. I play Ulamog next turn. Is there anything better? Metamorph coming down as a copy of anything on board doesn't seem great. And unfortunately, I don't think you can get Metamorph plus Duplicant. Definitely Duplicant. Could also put Ulamog down, but I think casting that's just kind of the nail in the coffin. Terrastodon. I don't really want to blow up any of my opponent's stuff and give him 3/3s. I could kill some of my own lands. That might be right, is just to like get a 9/9 and blow up one of my own lands or something like that. But then if my opponent plays like Zealous Conscripts, that's pretty bad. Dragonlord Silumgar, I think, is what I'm going to get. And then I'll put these 2 into play. Duplicant. Let's see. I want to steal something that's beneficial. I think I'll just go ahead and take Pia Noir. And then Duplicant, the thing that can deal the most damage. These are very similar creatures. I think I'll take out Ire Shaman with Duplicant, because it does have Menace, even though that means Duplicant's coming down as a very small creature. But it can still trade profitably with the other things. So Duplicant's going to go and take out the Menace creature. Silumgar's going to go and steal Pia Noir. And hopefully I get to untap and play Ulamog. I mean, Duplicant's going to be easy to kill. Silumgar's very killable as well. Yeah, I'd like to do that. And if they have a way to kill Silumgar or to take control of it or something like that, then I do lose Pia Noir for the turn, and then they could like sack a Thopter. But get to untap and play Ulamog, that's pretty nice. They still only have, I mean, they have 3 cards in hand plus a mountain to play this turn. Could see myself dying this turn. Fortunately, I was not in a position where Terrastodon and my opponent's stuff was good. And if I didn't have an Ulamog in my hand, I would possibly Terrastodon some of my own stuff. Cone of Flame. Alright, so they're going to do something to kill Silumgar or make it bad for me to block with it. Alright. I will snap block with Silumgar, I think. 3, 4, yeah, this is like 7 damage, so. Huh. I could block a Thopter and keep Silumgar and then eat his 2 creatures with Ulamog. Or I could just trade it and take less damage, go to 8. I think with his Outpost Siege, I want to take less damage. But trading Silumgar also seems like very obnoxious, right? I guess I'll go down to 6 and keep my Silumgar around. Ooh, Hangerback off the top too. Alright, so it's now Ulamog time. That'll get rid of his 2 guys. Probably just Outpost Siege plus one of these things, actually. So, boom, boom, boom. Cast Trigger, Exile, Outpost Siege, plus, again, these are like the same exact creatures. So I took away his card advantage card. I took away one of his attackers. I guess I have to be careful about Zealous Conscript, so I will not attack with Ulamog. 7 mana, Earthquake. Oh, Earthquake for 6. Alright. Good game. I'll see you guys in round 2. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Timothy here. This is round 2 of a Modern Cube, where we just lost to Earthquake off the top, but it was a good match. We have a ramp-heavy hand with some good late-game cards, and we're on the play, so I think we definitely keep this, even though we're not doing anything on game 1. Still good game. If you're still hanging out after that first round loss, I appreciate it. But yeah, we played against Mono Red, and I think we were just a turn too slow on everything. I wasn't expecting a fireball, so really another Mono Red deck. Well, this is going to be bad. I think I just play Wall of Roots here then. Grim Lavamancer is not good against Wall of Roots. Yeah, I don't really want to give him the opportunity to kill my Devoted Druid. So, root it up. Next turn, probably Cultivate. A -0, -1 counter. Black-red. Lavamancer seems good against my game plan, but not particularly amazing overall against me. It's a very grindy card. So we'll go ahead and get the Swamp down, put another forest in my hand. Boom, boom. And untap with 6 mana next turn. We're still quite a ways away from doing anything. I will play Devoted Druid next turn. If my opponent wants to kill it with Lavamancer, that's great. If not, I get to play Terastodon the turn after. Assuming they don't kill Wall of Roots, of course. Hey, it's just like last game. Except less beats. I do think Unlicensed Disintegration is in this cube, which is one reason to splash black in a otherwise mono red deck. Play Courser first. That's just better than Devoted Druid here, I think. And I can also just play Devoted Druid after. Blue, hit a land off the top for value. Nope, just a Rashmi's Eternity Crafter. Alright, let's get a forest down. Gain me some life against my opponent. Play Devoted Druid. If they kill it, that's fine by me. If not, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana, I can Tooth and Nail. If not, I can Terastodon. Even if they kill Devoted Druid here, I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Tooth and Nail, you can technically do each mode for 7 mana, but doing it for 9 is way too sweet. I wonder if I got a little too greedy in the last game, if I was supposed to just, like, Tooth and Nail and put Ulamog on the battlefield. That didn't seem correct, though. And I guess I also didn't consider how weak my duplicate was going to be when it came off the top. I mean, we lost to an Earthquake. We had a very steady board against our opponent. I mean, we had Ulamog to their no creatures, but we were at 6 life, and they had a Fireball. My opponent here is missing a land drop, so let's get him. Hey, look, an Ulamog. Unfortunately, I have to show that to my opponent here. Let's see. Play. Maybe I don't want to play land yet if I don't have to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. This is 9. We're going to Tooth and Nail. I already have Terastodon. I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And just put a counter here, not have to put a counter on this, and play Terastodon. Blow up all my opponent's lands. I mean, they get a bunch of 3/3s, but then what? We cast Ulamog next turn? Or we Tooth and Nail and get rid of a bunch of them? I kind of like playing Terastodon and just nuking my opponent's lands here. They're going to get a bunch of elephants, but that's fine. How does this work? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I'm just making sure all the math is right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Play this. What if they have a removal spell for Terastodon in response? How bad is that? Pretty bad, right? So maybe I just Tooth and Nail here. This is 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go ahead and untap this guy. Make 9 mana. I did that all sorts of whack. They could have responded to that trigger and killed this, and then I would have been like, okay, I'm actually going to do this instead, just because if my opponent does respond by killing Terastodon, I just gave him a bunch of 3/3s. So here, Phyrexian Metamorph coming down as a copy of something doesn't seem amazing. I do like Dragonlord Silumgar, and probably Duplicant. It is a removal spell. I guess I'll just put Ulamog on the battlefield. Yeah, I mean, what's my opponent's deck going to do about Ulamog? Boom, boom. Done. not cast in Ulamog, but still, you get the point, right? Let's go and take Pia Noir. I mean, if they kill Silumgar, they get this back, but there are not very many things that a red-black deck can do about a 10/10 Indestructible that wins in 2 turns. This is a significantly worse card to have on top of my deck. Target artifact gets +1/+0. Why are you doing that? That's strange. Oh, I get to attack with Courser this turn, too. Ain't that something? Yeah, I mean, it's sweet to cast Terastodon and just Armageddon my opponent, but if they respond to Terastodon's trigger by just playing a removal spell and kill my 9/9, then suddenly they got a bunch of 3/3s, and it's possible, something happens there. I still probably get to untap and play Ulamog, but I think my opponent's in pretty bad shape here. Yeah. Cool beans. I mean, I guess we're playing against a red deck again, so I probably want to make similar cuts. Nissa, again, not looking great. I mean, I evaluate this as a 3-drop that comes down with 1 loyalty and scries 2 up to 3, but I guess you can always just play it as a late-game card, right? Progenitor Mimic is also worse against these decks that play a bunch of low-to-the-ground creatures. This is very good against decks with, like, really clunky creatures like Siege Rhino and stuff, where you just get a Siege Rhino every turn. And at some point, I would love to board into this Bolus, but not against these red decks. So I think we're going to go ahead and cut. I probably should have brought in Rex Sage against my opponent. I guess I didn't see Outpost Siege. Game 1. Is that Nissa already in the deck? Guess I will take out Steward. It's actually just significantly worse on the draw anyway. And bring in Primal Command, and we'll call it a day. What did I bring in last time? I think that was it. Commit to memory. Commit also much worse against low-to-the-ground creature decks when you're spending 4 mana to get rid of some of your opponent's big things. Here's an awkward hand. I guess I can cycle this so it's pretty decent. Opponent's going down to 6, going down to 5. But I have Jaraga's Tree Speaker. Alright, opponent kept on 5, which is not great. Tree Speaker's so good. Next turn, assuming this doesn't die, I get to level it up and then play Soccer Tribe Elder. Dark Confidant. Alright, that could get you out of the hole. That's actually a really good card to draw, or at least have access to. Late Claim, probably not going to happen. I mean, Late Claim is a possibility this game, I guess. Soccer Tribe Elder is going to go get my blue. Ugin. Alright, so we dump 2 green mana into this. And then we tap this to play Soccer Tribe Elder. And then next turn we untap with 6 mana. Play a giant Hangerback Walker. It's kind of what we wanted to do, right? I love these rampy decks. I would have liked, a Crater Hoof Behemoth. Oh my god, my opponent just revealed a 6-drop. It's pretty absurd. Sorry, Dark Confidant. Dark Confidant is notably much worse in limited formats than it is in constructed formats. Although, I'm assuming my opponent's black-red deck is more low to the ground. They probably just have like 1 or 2 things in the high-end slots, and my opponent just got punished for that. Do you attack? I could just trade Soccer Tribe Elder here, but I'm not going to. Block. Sack it. Go get a blue source. I probably should just let this die. Cultivate. Alright, so options here. Probably want to cast Cultivate, because that gives me access to Lay Claim. That costs 1, 2, 3, and then I have 3 mana left over. So I have 6 mana total this turn. I guess I could play Cultivate and then just Hanger back on 1. Seems fine. I do want to cast Cultivate to guarantee that I'm hitting land drops, so we'll do it. Cultivate on 1, or Hangerback on 1 is fine. I will trade it with a Dark Confidant. Let's go get Swamp Island. Let's put the Swamp on the battlefield in case my opponent makes me like discard or something like that. And then we'll tap this for a Hangerback. X is 1. Cool. And I will say go. See what they hit off Dark Confidant. We know currently they have 4 in hand and one of them's a 6-drop. Granted, a very good 6-drop, especially against my deck. But, I mean, if they don't kill this, we're slamming probably Ugin next turn. If I want to be very rude, I could lay claim a land. Just a play you never see happen, right? Yeah, if they attack with Dark Confidant, I'm definitely offering them the trade with Hangerback Walker. I'm not going to get too gritty and try to wait a turn and activate this. Dark Confidant is what they need to get back in a game. They revealed a mountain this turn. Or they probably just want that to die, too. They took 6 off of it. All you. This replaces itself. Yours does not. Thopter? Thopter. Alright, what's the follow-up? My opponent's doing 5 for a mulligan to 5. Their extra card draw is cut off. How do I get rid of a card I already know about? There you go. Play something I can lay claim. Banefire. Aww. Alright. So, taking out Drago, Tree Speaker. Decent play from the opponent. Okay, Primal Command. Not bad. I can put a land back on top of their library. I can go search for a creature and put it in my hand. I could gain 7 life. So I think I'm going to put their Swamp back on top, just guarantee that they're not drawing another spell, and then go fetch up a creature, mainly because I'm not doing anything else this turn. Seems good. Oh god. I don't think I need to gain 7 life right now, so put target non-creature permanent on top of its owner's library. Search your library for a creature. There we go. Choose target non-creature permanent. Get rid of that Swamp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Act like I have a blue counter spell up. Spell Pierce? I don't know. Then we know they're drawing that Swamp next turn. This puts them another turn away from Chandra, too, if they actually have lands. So we get to go get any creature from our deck. Elder Deep Fiend could be decent. I can cast it off of this Thopter token. No, I need one more land for that. Courser. Dragonlord Silumgar, also pretty sweet. Prices my opponent into not being able to use that. Chandra, of course, they'll know about it. Terrastodon we can't currently cast. Thragtusk I can currently cast. Might be worth getting that. I think I'll probably just get Dragonlord here. Just in case they play something, I just steal it. Yeah, I kind of like that. My hand is stacked. I can play Silumgar. One more land gives me Lake Claim. Another land after that gives me Ugin. Maybe I just wanted to get a mana dork there. Devoted Druid or something like that. Alright, do some work, Thopter. I'm proud of you. Banefire. It's a fireball. If you paid 5 or more for X, it can't be countered. It's kind of smart of my opponent to Banefire my Jiraga. Murderous Redcap. Is that going to take out my Thopter? Be a little annoying if it did. Oh, and it did. Alright, Hinterland Harbor comes in untapped. It does let me lay claim. I don't think I really want to lay claim this. I think I'd rather my opponent play like Chandra and then lay claim that. So I will Silumgar this bad boy. Even though it's not really the best thing to take. Also, if it dies, it persists under my opponent's control. I don't know if you can pull off an infinite combo with this thing in Limited. This is part of a lot of infinite combos. I guess Anafenza is here. If you have this plus Anafenza plus a sack outlet, that does it. Alright, one away from that Chandra. My opponent does not know I have Lay Claim in hand, though. So my opponent's hand is 2 unknowns and a Chandra. Ooh, Whip of Erebos. Do I want to Lay Claim a Whip of Erebos, give all my creatures lifelink? Kind of. 1, 2, 3. If I draw a land, I might just Ugin. No, we drew a Rashmi Eternity's Crafter. The thing is, if my opponent does just play land plus Chandra, then I can always just play Ugin and get rid of it. If I take Whip of Erebos now, I can start, like, whipping back, I guess, like, Sakura Tribe Elder. Kind of want to Lay Claim this. Because if my opponent untaps, plays Chandra, attacks me, they're gaining 6 life. Nah, I'd rather gain the life, I think. Let me go ahead and steal this from you, please. Sorry. 2 turns in a row, just stealing my opponent's stuff. My board will be riddled with their cards. I will lay claim to this. Also, now all my creatures have lifelink, so I just put my opponent in a very bad spot. Chandra comes down with 4 counters on it, so it can't kill Silumgar. It can take... Oh, I guess you can -2. No, you would have to -4 Chandra, let it die. This would persist, and it would come back and deal 1 to Silumgar. So my opponent could trade Chandra for my board, and they would be left with a 1/1 red cap, and then I could whip back, like, pretty much anything. I guess I need another black source to do that. This is not the card you want. Trust me. The non-bloodthirsted Stormblood Berserker. Boy, alright. I don't think I want to play any of these. I'm probably just going to start plussing Ugin, to be honest. So let's go and attack, see if my opponent wants to make any sort of nonsensical block. So their hand is Chandra +1 non-land card. And all my creatures have lifelink. Ugh. Whip is so good. This was part of Return to Ravnica Theros standard, where whip decks would like Sidisi Whip was a real deck for a good amount of time. Actually, Ugin can just kill my opponent here. Just plus and deal 3 to him. And the whip decks, like when you played a whip deck versus a whip deck, like the games would never end. You would go into time and your opponent would just like be at 100 life, you'd be at 80 life. The board would be riddled with Siege Rhinos and Hornet Queens. It was ridiculous. Anyway, we took that one pretty easily, I think, and we'll be back for Game 3. Hopefully we can snatch out a win here. Thanks for watching, guys. Hello, beautiful people. We're back for Round 3. We are 1-1. Showcasing some of the problematic things that you get when you play this archetype is that I have a bunch of mana dorks, a bunch of lands, and nothing to do with my cards. Granted, that makes almost any reasonable card a great top deck for me, but lands are bad, more mana dorks are bad. I think it's still good enough to keep. Good luck to you as well, Fulgence. Forgot what button skips my turn. Corsair Crufix would be sweet. Ooh, Shelldock Isle. This is a really cool card that's good in Limited, but not good in other formats. It's a hideaway land, so my opponent looks at 4 cards. They put 1 underneath it. I don't get to see what it is. And then once they have 20 or less cards in their library, they can cast that card for free. Yep. Hideaway lands are sweet. I mean, I guess I'll empty my hand in case I draw some sort of ridiculous card out the top, but don't see that happening. Also, no pressure on my opponent. I guess I could have just played Carrington and attacked for 1, but this isn't going to come down to me dealing 1 damage to my opponent. I have access to a lot of mana. Ooh, Sphere of the Suns. It's just mana ramp. Ah! So obnoxious. I guess I will deal 2 to my opponent here. Just showing my opponent I have nothing despite having 6 mana on board on turn 3. My hand is 3 forests. My opponent plays anything, I can't deal with it. Terastodon. Boom, boom, boom. That's what we need. A nasty Terasti. Ooh, Threads of Disloyalty. Stealing one of my mana dorks. So rude. Alright, ooh, Lake Claim. Take your Threads of Disloyalty, enchanting my own creature. I wonder, if I take a Hideaway land with Lake Claim, do I get to, play the card underneath it? I have no idea. This takes a creature with converted mana cost 2 or less. I guess I'll attack my opponent for 1 and just pass the turn. I'm not really into cycling this Lake Claim. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. I mean, I could have cast Lake Claim that turn if they hadn't redsed my elves. Like a jerk. Sorry, Fulgence. I'm no longer your friend. Tap out for something that's worth Lake Claiming. That's what I need. Okay. Ooh, Gilded Lotus. Do I take that from my opponent? That might just be good, like if I top deck Ulamog or something. 3 white mana for Chroma. Alright, my opponent is also ramping. Feel like I want to save Lake Claim for... Oh no. Oh no, opponent. I drew Terastodon. So, what do I Terastodon here? I go pop, pop, pop? Is that right? And cut them off 3, 4, 5 mana, put them basically back down to where they were. Take away their Shelldock. Oh, this is assuming they don't have a counterspell. They do have 2 mana up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I can't even do that this turn. So maybe do I Lake Claim? Like, what if they play Ulamog or something? Then I'm in very bad shape. They have tons of mana. They're probably going to play some big Eldrazi. If it's not an Eldrazi, I feel better about Lake Claiming. I could Lake Claim their Gilded Lotus. They still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. I think I give it one more turn here. And if they have some big Eldrazi Titan, that's bad for me. But I cannot Terastodon this turn. Alright, something not absurd. Play Grizzlebrand. Just drop a Grizzlebrand so I can Lake Claim that. Shelldock Isle is good with Grizzlebrand. Well, not off triple white, I don't think. Play Consecrated Sphinx. Alright, 4 mana. Guess also they kill my mana dorks. I don't get to do it. Alright, don't mind them spending mana to do this. So they draw 4 cards and discard 2 cards. If they cast at instant speed outside of their main phase, they have to discard 3 cards, but they could do a little bit of filtering here, leaving them with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and potentially 6, 7 mana. I'm going to fill their hand back up, though. Maybe it was greedy to not lay claim their Gilded Lotus there. Alright, discard in Sleight of Hand and a land. Phyrexian Arena is pretty strong. I feel like I go Terastodon and hit Lotus, Shelldock Isle, Phyrexian Arena. Still keep up lay claim for anything else that comes up. They remove Terastodon, that puts me in pretty bad shape though, right? Maybe I lay claim their Phyrexian Arena? They could have Censor up. They have a number of counter spells. Maybe I don't hit Shelldock Isle. Maybe I just hit like Gilded Lotus, Phyrexian Arena. Yeah, I mean, hitting the Lantern's essentially the same as hitting Shelldock Isle. Definitely think I cast Terastodon here. Kind of tough decision. See if it resolves. It might not. Okay, it does. I definitely hit Lotus. That cuts him off 3 mana. Could hit Threads of Disloyalty. I think I want to take him off Phyrexian Arena. If they have a removal for Terastodon, this is so bad for me. I think I'm going to take him off Shelldock Isle as well. And then if they kill Terastodon, well, I just gave them a bunch of 3/3s, so. Do your worst. But don't do that bad. I could lose to this. But Shelldock Isle was about to be a free spell in what appears to be a very ramp-heavy deck. Phyrexian Arena lets them outpace me quite a bit, and Lotus lets them out-mana me. So even though we're at parity on board, they are now down to 6 mana. I have a lay claim. Oh, they're going to do it back to me. That's so rude. Are they going to hit some of my lands? Or are they going to hit some of their own stuff? They probably go boom, boom, maybe one of their own things. I don't know. What a twist, right? What a twist. Who saw this coming? I mean, if they hit 3 lands, we're at like super parity, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would not be able to cast a lay claim. All right, they do take me off of 3 lands and give me 3 elephants. What a bizarre game. Oh my god, what if I draw my Metamorph? Okay. Ooh, Duplicant was good. Now I can kill their Terastodon and serve with all 3 of my guys. Actually, also Duplicant would come down as a 9/9, which is amazing. Could also serve with my Terastodon first, make it a 10/10 off Exalted, but that seems bad. All right, get out of here, your Terastodon. Put another 9/9 on board, and then I will attack with my Terastodon and the 3 elephants. And this is actually a lethal attack, so they have to block at least one thing. Probably put all 3 on. No, putting all 3 on Terastodon is not great unless they have a way to deal with these 3 elephants. Ooh, they have something. What is this? Enchant creature has shadow, prevent all damage that would be dealt by it. Okay, so that just makes it so Terastodon doesn't deal damage. What happened to my Duplicant? When Duplicant... As long as a card exile with Duplicant is a creature card... Sorry, did I miss why my Duplicant is not on the battlefield? Oh, that's so obnoxious. As long as it is a creature card. Okay, got it. What an interesting line of play. Archangel of Thune? Oh, please draw a land off the top. Please draw a land off the top. Yes. So let me explain what happened there, in case you're also wondering why my Duplicant and my 9/9 is not on the battlefield. Duplicant imprints a creature. My opponent didn't actually have a Terastodon. They had a Phyrexian Metamorph. So yes, Phyrexian Metamorph is imprinted on Duplicant, but it's imprinted as a 0/0, which makes Duplicant a 0/0, meaning Duplicant just died. So I'm going to take my opponent's Archangel Thune, because that seems like the right thing to do. Otherwise, I just die to it. And hopefully my opponent doesn't have... No, I don't want to cycle. Let's go and make double blue. And then... Yep. That's... Oh my gosh. Oh, right. You have to... It doesn't even matter how I do this, to be honest. I don't need to make double blue off the cataracts. Hey, it's Destiny Wallace and Number Produce birthday. Happy birthday to you all. Alright. There we go. 2 blue. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cast this. Take Archangel. And no point attacking with Terastodon. This prevents all damage that would be dealt by enchanted creature. I guess it still gets the block and all that jazz. I will have to remember to bring in Reclamation Sage and any other naturalize effects I have in my sideboard. Also seems like Progenitor Mimic would be pretty sweet here. And I'm not going to lie. It's game 3. I'm tempted to bring in Nicol Bolas. My opponent can block Archangel Thune with Celestial Colonnade. They might be debating whether to keep that up or to play something else from their hand. I'm assuming if they didn't kill this right away, that means that... Oh, actually, if I attack with just Archangel Thune, it'll be a 4/5 because of Noble Hierarch. Alright, what is this? You have 8 mana. They cast a lay claim, taking my Terrastodon, the thing that can't deal damage. I'm not sure why they did that. Maybe they didn't think they could take Archangel because this was enchanted. That's got to be a misclick, right? There's got to be some plan there. Maybe they have something that only copies their own creatures. Wow, Courser of Crewfix, Archangel is sweet. Please hit a land off the top here. Oh, it's just a Dragonlord Silumgar. There's so much swapping things around. It's crazy. Alright, Archangel, get in there. This doesn't fly, right? It just has Shadow. Maybe they're going to blow up Temporal Isolation? What's the plan? Why take the 9/9 that can't deal damage? Oh, and everything gets bumped? Huh. Alright, we'll see what the plan is. I'm very confused about why my opponent took Terrastodon, but I think we're about to find out. Maybe they're going to make a copy of something they control, and they're going to blow up Lay Claim. Precursor Golem. Well, that doesn't quite do it. Cool card. Look at this board. Do I have a way... This is only instants and sorceries? Yeah. So definitely attack with Archangel for 5 this time. I don't have a way to filter this off the top of my deck, unfortunately. I don't understand why my opponent did that. They could have used Lay Claim on my Lay Claim and then taken Archangel? Alright, put the opponent down to 3. I guess I will play Silumgar. And what do I take with Silumgar? Probably Precursor Golem. Maybe they have some sort of like mass pump spell or something like that. They knew I just drew this. Black. I guess I'll keep up as many blockers as possible. I don't think that's actually a possibility. Yeah, it is. So I just make blue, blue. Nope, it's not. It's not. So black, blue, 1, 2, 3. Another land there would have actually pumped my team because Courser and Archangel Thune's a pretty sick interaction. Wait, do I just take back Terrastodon? No, I guess I'll take Precursor Golem. If they target it with something, it kills their golems too. Alright. My opponent controls 2 of my creatures. I control 1 of his, or hers, Fulgence. Yeah, this is bizarre. I guess I control 2 of theirs, actually. Alright, something big coming here. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, Ugin. That explains why they took Terrastodon. Oh, no, they're going to get rid of this, so they will get their Precursor Golem back. And I'm drawing Soccer Trivelder. Wow, Ugin probably just won my opponent the game. Oh, yeah, and it gets rid of that enchantment. That makes sense. And they keep the Lay Claim. Alright, that made perfect sense now. I take 6, I draw Soccer Trivelder. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Actually, I'm just dead next turn because I am drawing Soccer Trivelder. Pretty crazy right there. Pretty crazy. I like Censor on the play. I do not think this game's going to come down to like these little Planeswalkers. Progenitor Mimic and Bolus coming in. It's time, guys. So we're going to mess up our mana base pretty drastically. Well, there was another red land, wasn't there? Do I already have them in the deck? I have Stomping Ground. Oh, I already put 2 lands in the deck. So we can cut a forest for Stomping Ground, and I don't want to cut a swamp, so I guess I'll be greedy and cut another forest for Dragon Skull Summit. Alright, so Bolus in the deck. Censor coming in, Progenitor Mimic coming in. Things that come out. playing very similar deck to my opponent. Thragtusk doesn't seem as insane against my opponent. Dragonlord Silumgar seems good. Nissa, Steward of Elements, Rashmi is also probably Just doesn't seem like the type of thing you should be tapping out for on turn 4. And I guess, yeah, Nissa can go ahead and come out here. Nissa seems okay. Yep. Let's see if we can pull off Bolus, guys. Alright. Cool first game. It all makes sense to me now. 1, 2, and a Mana Dork plus Phyrexian Metamorph. Yeah, I guess I keep this. It's not not an ideal hand. I guess I'll just play Forest into Noble Hierarch. A little top heavy here. Hopefully my opponent doesn't have threads. I should have brought in Reclamation Sage. Or was Rec Sage already in my main board? I don't remember. Are you going to disfigure? Fatal Push. Okay, well now my hand's very bad. That makes it a little better because of the Metamorph, but my hand is pretty uncastable right now. I need to draw like Cultivate or something like that, or Devoted Druid, Wall of Roots. Something to get me over the hump to my 6 mana cards. Alright, I guess we will play that and pass the turn since Metamorph has no targets. Saving this Yavimaya Coast since it's not necessary for me to play it at the moment. And opponent is content saying pass back. Elder Deep Fiend, not great here either. Wow, my hand is kind of ridiculous. They're probably sitting in their hand looking at their Phyrexian Metamorph like, dude, play something. I mean, we have so many of the same cards. We both have Lay Claims, Ugins, Metamorphs. I don't know this person, but I like them. Question is, do I Metamorph that? Do I Metamorph Sphere, which lets me untap with 6 lands and potentially play some of these other things? Or do I try to hit another card off the top? I think I just play Metamorph, and then I can Silumgar my opponent's next play or duplicate it. It's not the most exciting thing. If they want to counter this, I think I'm okay with it. Alright, my opponent's head on this race. They tap out for, they tap out for a Gilded Lotus. I'm not feeling great. Oh, they didn't have anything there. Alright, so we just continue not playing anything. None of my cards do anything unless my opponent has stuff. I can't play Deep Fiend without another land. My opponent did miss a land drop. Oh, there it goes. So they're on all 5 spells. It's pretty crazy, right? Alright, Gilded Lotus is a thing that I wish they didn't have. Alright, so I can play some of my stuff now. I think I'd probably play Elder Deep Fiend here. I could play Ugin, but if I go Deep Fiend on their upkeep, I can just cast it straight up without Immersion and go tap, 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 leave them pretty much tapped out for a turn. So we're going to go ahead and pass here. Play Elder Deep Fiend on their upkeep. Go and cast this. Oh, right, you have to remove a charge counter. This does not have a colorless option. And they probably already know what's coming because they probably have it in their deck as well. Tap, 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 tap. And see if they do anything on upkeep here. Because this is 6 mana I'm denying them access to. Do I see a counter spell or a commit, maybe? Commit to memory? Oh no, they're just making mana. Okay. Or are you going to use the mana, though? That's the question. Let's see a removal spell. Go for the throat. Not bad. Can go and take off that upkeep now. Okay, we could do the Terastodon thing and go boom, boom, boom. Or I could play Ugin and start plussing. The problem with that is if my opponent has Lay Claim, but then I have Terastodon for Lay Claim. Keep in mind, my opponent did not have a Terastodon. They copied mine. So I think I like running Ugin out, even if it gets countered here. I'm not going to just sit here and not play anything this turn. They have a counterspell, they got it, right? It looks like they do. Just a straight up negate. My opponent is very efficiently answering my stuff with their 2 mana cards, which is kind of annoying. Kind of annoying. I am going to use the last thing off of Sphere, so I think Terastodon will actually blow up my Sphere as well. Make a 3/3. Just a straight up Shriek Maul. No targets. That's a bait. That is definite bait right there. Alright, Dragon Skull Summit can come in untapped. I think I will play Terastodon here. I am kind of worried about a Phyrexian Metamorph, right? But I don't really want to use either of these other two on this guy. So I think we're going to tap this for the last mana. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and see if my opponent has another efficient answer. They have another counterspell, like Essence Scatter or something like that. They have 3 in hand. Oh, it looks like they do have something. Jeez. Supreme Will. Alright. They're down to 2 cards in hand. They can't be on mono answers. I mean, I guess they can be. Shriek Maul beats. Think it's time to go ahead and duplicate. 1. This does nothing now, which is kind of sad. It's a Phyrexian Metamorph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess I'll just play Swag. Alright, opponent F6 that time. I will happily trade Thragtusk for your Shriek Maul. Oh, this has Fear. So I can't block it anyway. Ulamog. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not even close. Guess we'll just hit you back and probably play Duplicant. If they want to copy Duplicant, that's actually not the worst thing in the world for me. I wish I had a way to bounce this Sphere back to my hand so I could reuse Phyrexian Metamorph. Alright, we got a 3/2. It does not gain any of the abilities. My opponent's still on 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana. They can just do whatever they want, but they didn't do anything the last 2 turns. Alright, here comes something big. Dave Judgment, destroy all creatures. Not bad. At least I get left with a 3/3 here. Lands are not bad either. And I'm 1 mana away from Ulamog, which is not the best thing for them to, or not the best thing for me to have stolen from me, but I guess they could have, like, Threads of Disloyalty, which isn't good against me at this point in the game. Just need to draw 1 more mana would be nice. Lay claim on that. Okay. That's just to stop them from dying, so they don't have much of anything going on. Tooth and Nail, and I have 9 mana, but I don't really have a lot of things to Tooth and Nail for. I guess I can put these 2 on the battlefield. Let's do it. I could get Progenitor Mimic. Did I entwine? Probably did, but I want to make sure. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, we could get Progenitor Mimic, which makes 3/3s, or we could get Courser. Yeah, my hand is like, or the rest of my deck is pretty bad, so I need to rely on these guys. I want to cast Ulamog. So, Progenitor Mimic, copy of a creature. Guess it can come in as a beast, and then I'll just get another beast every upkeep, and then we'll just get like Courser Crufix or something like that. Still have Nicol Bolas in my deck, and that's about it as far as win cons. The 2 in my hand and Nicol Bolas. Progenitor Mimic for sure, because that's another threat my opponent has to deal with. So I have Hanger Backwalker. And then something that makes a mana. I guess Soccer Tribe Elder is the one that pressures my opponent in any capacity. It's probably just right to put Ulamog on the battlefield too. My opponent already played Lake Claim. They only have 20 cards. What could they have that deals with it? I don't know. Yeah, let's put Ulamog down. And then Progenitor Mimic. Have that come in as a 3/3, and then every turn I get another 3/3. See if they can deal with Ulamog here. If not, it's going to mill the last 20 cards in their library. If they can, that's pretty bad. Some sort of lay claim effect. Okay, they did not want to show me the last 20 cards. They did not have a way to deal with it. Through the breach. Not fantastic with the ones I have. Censor can come back out in this matchup. My opponent has tons of mana. Reclamation Sage can come in, for sure. Primal Command's also probably good as far as, like, removing some problematic cards. It can get rid of Lay Claim temporarily. Shuffle a Graveyard back. That doesn't seem too relevant. What's not good? I kind of like most of the other things. Go for the Throat's annoying. Negate's annoying, right? But there's nothing I can do about those cards. Commit to Memory seems fine as well. Just an answer to some stuff. Actually, it's probably pretty poor. Maybe better on the play, right? So if I'm bringing in these two things, I like most of my other things. Progenitor Mimic's actually probably kind of weak against my opponent. Most of their stuff steals mine or copies mine. Progenitor Mimic on the Golem seems good. I guess Mimic can go ahead and come back out. It's good on Thragtusk. It's good on a lot of things. I think I'll keep it in. So what am I cutting then? What are you cutting? Oi. What a matchup. Courser, Cultivate. Probably a Mana Dork, but that seems wrong. Maybe too many Mana Dorks? Is that a problem? Is that a problem? Maybe I just don't need Primal Command. I mean, it's a way to deal with Ugin or something like that. I guess I'll take Progenitor Mimic out. It requires there to already be a very good card on board for me to want to play it, and I already have Phyrexian Metamorph. Progenitor Mimic's just a greedier Phyrexian Metamorph. Alright, well, we have a million mana, all of our colors, Corsair Crufix, and a 1-mana thing to ramp into it, so opponent's also going down to 6 on the play. We will have to keep in mind they have a good bit more counter magic than we initially thought. I think I actually want to just play Elves of Deep Shadow here. I would rather them kill that if they have Fatal Push or something along those lines. Might just be incorrect. Oh, are they digging for another land? Possibly. I guess playing it this way means I'm taking 2 damage for this and this to play Courser, and that's probably not great. So maybe Tree Speaker was just the correct thing to play anyway. Do you have Fatal Push? Or do you even use Fatal Push here? Temple. So I think I'm going to go... I could just play Tree Speaker and then level up Tree Speaker. I think I want to get Courser down, though. So I'm going to take 2 this turn. It's kind of obnoxious. That's very obnoxious. Alright, again, this match isn't going to come down to, like, necessarily little incremental life totals. It's going to be very swingy, whoever can deal the most damage first. I do like this Scry land, pretty nice, considering how much mana I have at the moment. Courser should gain back the life I lost there anyway. Wall of Roots on top, kind of like scrying that to the bottom. Uh-huh. Yeah, we'll put Wall of Roots on the bottom. We don't need more mana dorks. Sure. And then Soccer Tribe Elder will probably go ahead and shuffle away. Let's do this post-combat. Yeah, on my opponent's end step, I'll go ahead and shuffle away Noble Hierarch and ramp ahead another card. And we have all the mana we could possibly need with Tree Speaker for the most part. 4-drop. Day of Judgment. Destroy all creatures. Well, oh no! Soccer Tribe Elder! What have we done? That's weird. Yeah, I legitimately clicked that. That was my fault. Let's see. Play Stomping Grounds. I can go ahead and use this next turn. I guess I probably want to use this turn just in case. Yeah, I messed up bad. I mean, I would have just had 1 extra mana here, which would have been relevant. It would have been relevant. We can tap. Oh, this can't tap this turn. So I don't think I want to play or pay 2 life for that just to get Noble down. Even though that would give me 8 mana next turn if I drew like an Ugin or something. Gilded Lotus. Shriek Maw, killing that. Alright. Primal Command. Not bad. I guess I can put Colonnade back on top and then go search for a creature. Shuffle in a graveyard, do anything. I could also gain 7 since I'm going to be under a little bit of pressure. So I'm definitely searching for a creature. I think I just put Colonnade back on top. So put target non-creature on top. Search your library for a creature card. Put Colonnade back on top. And we'll go get... I'm going to have 6 mana next turn. Thragtusk seems good. It's either Thragtusk or probably Duplicant here. Could also get Dragonlord Silumgar, which is bad if they answer it. Kind of like Thragtusk, because it's going to stabilize, give me a lot of life, and then if they deal with it, I'm still left on with something on board as opposed to Duplicant, which won't do that. So let's get Swaggy here. Yeah, Misplay super hard. I could play Noble Hierarch this turn, or would have already had Noble Hierarch out, to be fair. Take my beats, kind of deserve it. And then we go Noble Hierarch into Thragtusk, assuming my opponent doesn't just counter it. Play land first in case we get like Mana Tithed or something. Play this, see if you have a Supreme Will. Nope, my opponent just F6'd. Go ahead and play Noble Hierarch. Don't think I'm expecting another sweeper from the opponent. Well, we basically just tempo played them, putting the Colonnade back on top. What is this? Oh, there's Archangel. It's going to be hard to race. This can hit me. Can hit him back for 6, but I'm not going to be able to race Archangel Thune, so we need to draw something that deals with it. Ugin? No, I can't cast Ugin. But, Duplicant. Ooh, Terastodon. I cannot currently play Terastodon either, so I guess I attack for 6. Play Caryatid. Now I can play an Ugin, which would not be a bad draw. But I'm going to take 6 here, and my opponent's going to go up to 14. Then opponent has me on a pretty short clock. I think if they had a creature, they would play that first. It's possible if they have nothing, they activate Celestial Colonnade here, just put a counter on it. Okay, they're just going to say go. And that makes sense. That means that they got something in hand. If they have a counterspell for Terastodon, that's so bad. But I don't have anything, right? So what am I going to do? I guess I'll cast a Terastodon. Oh, they actually just have lethal, don't they? Oh, I guess I can play Terastodon. I have to blow up Colonnade then. Sure. If they have a counterspell, I'm dead to Colonnade, assuming they have another land to actually animate it. Guess I could have kept one of these up. No counterspell. Negate doesn't do it. So we'll go blow up land, blow up land, blow up Colonnade. No, they have Supreme Will. Oh, Cycle Lay Claim. Hoping to hit Supreme Will. Alright, so this has to hit Colonnade, otherwise I'm dead to what they have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can keep myself with 7 mana blow up 2 of my own lands. I can safely blow up the swamp because I have this. I think I can blow up Yavimaya. It's probably just better to blow up a forest. And just hope I can race my opponent. Thing is, if they draw a land and they activate this, they have lethal on board because I can't block any of these, and I won't be able to block Colonnade. They're very, very likely hit a land, so let's see if we can race the opponent. This has been a pretty good game. I really messed up with Sakura Tribe Elder. In response to that Day of Judgment, sack it, go get a land. But I failed to do that. So assuming they attack with just Archangel, they might actually just attack with Archangel this turn. This block's here, this block's here, they take 3, 6. And they're also going to go up to 12 life. Eesh. So I can't even cast Ugin now. Possible I just wanted to blow up 1 less land in case I draw an 8-drop. Tooth and Nail is not great. Okay, they are attacking with Shriek Maw. Elder Deep Fiend would be a great draw. Alright, they're at 12, I'm at 4. Come on, something. Elder Deep Fiend would actually be fantastic. Gilded Lotus, okay. They're still not technically tapped out here. I mean, I guess I have, if I kill the elephant, then I have lethal. I could also draw Phyrexian Metamorph, I suppose, as a way to either copy Thragtusk or the Archangel. Okay, they're doing something with their mana here. Sphere of the Suns. Okay, so now they're tapped out. So I need to hit Lucky here. What? Punt, punt. What's it going to be? Metamorph. Ooh, what does Metamorph do for me? Let's see. If I attack with everything and he blocks an elephant, he dies. If he blocks Terastodon, he takes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh no! Is Metamorph enough to stop me from dying next turn? This is 10. If I Metamorph Thragtusk, then I gain 5, I go up to 9, but this is still 10. He can kill me with that. Oh! Oh, 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 oh! You know what my out might be? And there are a lot of ways my opponent can get around it. My opponent has to block Terastodon. So this elephant is gone. What I can do is I can play Metamorph as a copy of Shriek Maw, use Shriek Maw to blow Archangel Thune, but then if they have an answer to this, I'm still dead. If they have an answer to a 3/2 black creature, I am dead. That might be my only bet. Let's see, if I make a copy of Archangel Thune, does that do anything? I can't get in 1 more damage with anything here. Nope. Nope, none of that does it, so I guess I'll go ahead and make this attack. Force my opponent to jam his elephant into my Terastodon. And then hope they just don't have a way to kill a 3/2 on board. They have so many ways to do it, too. Ugin, their own Phyrexian Metamorph. There's just so many ways they can destroy me here. They have to block Terastodon. Otherwise, if they block, I don't know, the next biggest thing, they just die. So I'm going to put my opponent down to 1. They're going to have it, aren't they? Ah! How did we misplay so bad? All right. So Metamorph comes in as a copy of Shriekmaw, blown up Archangel. Alternatively, if I play it as a copy of Archangel, they can just attack with Shriekmaw. So here we go. Cast this. Yep. As a copy of Shriekmaw. Shriekmaw, blow up Archangel. And then we'll see whether we got it or not. I know my opponent's got 3 in hand. They've got to have a way to kill a Shriekmaw. Go for the Throat doesn't do it. Okay, 2 cards left. 2 cards left. Uh, oh, I'm blocking. I'm definitely blocking. What if they do something before blocks? Get in there. Okay, okay, I'm alive. Let's not overextend it. Just attack with 3 things here. I guess they could have that flashy enchantment. I still have 2 blockers left, so let's just attack with literally everything that deals damage. Oh no, what is this? Do they have an Elder Deep Fiend of their own? 4 mana? 2 cards in hand. Cryptic Command, no! Why didn't they do that on their turn? I have no way to deal with that, do I? Wow. Cryptic Command. That's pretty impressive. Yep, this island is not going to save me. Alright, GG opponent. I love it. Well, we went 1 and 2. Didn't do so hot, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had fun. We misplayed this last game by letting Soccer Tribe Elder die, and that's possibly enough for that 1 life to matter. So we died to the Shriek Maw and the Cryptic. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see y'all next time.